We have a conversation, guys. Oh, man, you force a conversation. Two people don't know each other.
But you just gonna let your husband somebody else?
How you told me?
Why am I? Don't. First of all, you be everybody in Atlanta and everybody knows it. You're not gonna talk to him like that. But I am. And what are you gonna do to us? And what are you gonna do? You're not gonna talk to us.
This is reality TV drama at its finest. Picture Yandy Smith, the strong, self-assured queen, discovering that her man, Mendeecees Harris, the person she has supported through thick and thin, has been skulking around with Jasmine Bleu. And girl, when I say the receipts are messy, I mean messy. This tea is hot, and I hope you're ready because Jasmine Bleu just dropped bombshells about Mendeecees, and let's just say Yandy is not okay. We're all aware of Mendeecees' past, but this time he's taken it to a whole new level. Jasmine isn't just making accusations. She's presenting facts, details, and tears. And Yandy is crying like never before. Fans are shocked, the internet is in flames, and the love and hip-hop world is completely turned upside down. So what exactly did Jasmine reveal? How did Yandy respond? And most importantly, is Mendeecees even going to recover from this? Some crazy twists are to be expected, but this is a whole new level of messy. This scandal is bigger, more jaw-dropping, and heartbreaking than anything we've ever seen before because, as I'm telling you, Jasmine Bleu is at the center of it all. If you've been following the drama, you already know that Jasmine and Mendeecees have a complicated history. Let's break this down because this is the kind of drama that shakes up reality TV history. The past has always been murky, full of whispers, allegations, and messy situations that have left fans wondering what really happened between them. However, this time, it's not just speculation. Jasmine Bleu just came forward and exposed Mendeecees in the most brutal way possible. And when Yandy found out, oh honey, it was over. She began her live stream by saying, "Y'all are going to hate me for this, but I don't even care anymore. I'm done being quiet." And right from the start, people knew something crazy was about to happen. Normally, people go live to chat with fans, spill a little tea, and maybe even hint at some drama, but this wasn't just a little shade being thrown. Jasmine came with facts, receipts, and a story that left everyone in shock. Then, she revealed that, according to Jasmine, Mendeecees has been sneaking around behind Yandy's back once again. But wait, this isn't just some random DMs or a little side flirtation. This man was allegedly making big promises to Jasmine, telling her things that made it clear this wasn't a one-time thing. Jasmine took a deep breath, looked directly into the camera, and said, "Mendeecees has been lying to all of you." The comments were flying at this point, with people saying, "Girl, what? Spill it." NC is being messy again. That would drive any wife crazy. Yandy Smith asserted that over the past 6 months, Mendeecees Harris has been covertly contacting Jasmine Bleu to let her know that he was unhappy about feeling stuck and that he would have picked her if he could go back in time. Indeed, he said that, and when Yandy learned of it, everything went crazy. At first, when people began tagging her in comments, she didn't reply. Instead, she remained silent, which only fueled more speculation. But Yandy is not the type to remain silent when someone messes with her name. So when she returned online hours later, she looked like she had just been through it. Her eyes were puffy, her makeup was smudged, and she looked like someone who had been crying for 3 hours straight. Her first words were, "I don't even know what to say right now," which made everyone realize this wasn't just a rumor, it was real. But wait, things are about to get even worse. According to sources close to Yandy, as soon as she heard the rumors, she confronted Mendeecees the moment she found out, and, as expected, it didn't go well. Imagine this. Yandy storms into the room, phone in hand, her voice trembling but her energy on fire. She throws the phone onto the table and boom, the messages from Jasmine are right there. Mendeecees looks down at the phone, his entire demeanor changes, and the first thing he says is, "Baby, are you really going to believe her over me?" Yandy wasn't having it. She stands her ground, saying, "I'm not stupid, so don't try to fool me right now. I want to hear it from you." But Mendeecees tries to play it off, shifting uncomfortably in his chair, searching for a way out, but there's no escape. And then, boom, Yandy pulls out the second phone, because when a woman has 2 phones, it's game over. Mendeecees knows he's in trouble. She hits play, and the voicemail begins. "I miss you, Jasmine. I think about you all the time. We need to work things out, all right." The room goes silent. Mendeecees knows there's no way out now. He tries to flip it back on Yandy, saying, You never want to listen to me, and you're always willing to believe the worst about me. What about everything I've done for this family? But Yandy isn't buying it. Mendeecees' face is filled with panic as he reaches for the phone, but Yandy snatches it back. Oh, now you want to touch my phone, but you weren't worried when you were leaving messages. Mendeecees is just sitting there, staring, knowing it's over. And that's when it happened. Yandy breaks down, crying real tears, because this isn't just about cheating, it's about betrayal and years of loyalty being thrown away like it was nothing. Baby, you made a mistake. You talk about family, but now you want to talk about loyalty. There's nothing left. When a woman reaches the point where she's no longer angry, but just hurt, you know it's truly done. But remember, this is only the beginning, because what comes next is about to get even messier. After hearing the betrayal, the lies, and the humiliation, Yandy rushed out of the studio, her pulse racing, trying to process everything. She had given everything to Mendeecees and supported him through the most trying times. When the world turned against Mendeecees, Yandy Smith had always defended him. Now, it seemed like all of that had been for nothing. As she drove home, her vision blurred with tears, but she refused to let them fall. She wasn't ready to break just yet. The questions kept swirling in her mind. Had she been blind the entire time? Had she ignored any signs? Were all the people right about him? Her phone rang, jolting her out of her thoughts. It was Kimbella. Yandy inhaled deeply and answered. I don't even know, Yandy whispered, acknowledging that Mendeecees had just been exposed, and he couldn't even refute it. He sat there in silence, as if he had nothing to say. Girl, what the hell is going on? Kimbella's voice was sharp and urgent. Kimbella sighed before adding, Listen, I've always supported you, but this is awful. Yandy, her stomach dropping, could barely process the news. Jasmine is out here sharing receipts like they're voice notes from Black Friday, and she even has pictures. There are photos of them together, Yandy, looking like they're in a hotel room. Yandy felt as though the air was sucked out of her lungs. This wasn't just a random accusation. Jasmine had proof. Kimbella sent her the images, and Yandy's hands were shaking as she scrolled. One picture showed Mendeecees sitting on a hotel bed, his shirt off, with Jasmine leaning into him. Another showed them dining at what appeared to be a luxury restaurant, smiling together. The worst part, he was grinning in every single one of them. That's when the tears came. I can't handle this, Kim, Yandy murmured, her voice trembling. I can't keep defending him. You don't have to, Kimbella responded firmly. It was then that Yandy realized she wasn't just any woman being cheated on. She was Yandy Smith, and women looked up to her. This wasn't just about Mendeecees anymore. The world was watching to see what she would do. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was desperately trying to fix the mess he had made. His phone was blowing up, and his name was trending for all the wrong reasons. He had to do something fast. He called Jasmine, who answered on the first ring, only to be met with his frustration. You better fix this mess you've made, Mendeecees hissed, but Jasmine fired back. Oh, now you want to act mad. She had built a brand and a name for herself, and now he was dragging it through the mud. I told the truth, but it wasn't for the world to hear, she shot back. You made it 100 times worse. Mendeecees clenched his jaw and said, I promise, if you don't clarify this, what'll you do? Jasmine, as erratic as ever, wasn't backing down. You don't have any influence over me, she snapped. If you try to come get me, you can be sure I have more receipts. Back at home, Yandy was pacing. She couldn't just sit around and let Mendeecees spin the story. She had to get ahead of this. Grabbing her phone, she went live on Instagram. As soon as her face appeared on the screen, thousands of people joined, and the comments flooded in. Yandy, we got your back, sis. Leave him. He isn't worth it. The support was overwhelming, but Yandy knew the hardest part was still to come. Yandy Smith inhaled deeply, her voice steady but heavy with emotion. Are you okay? We're praying for you, she said, her words meant to reassure those around her. Then she began, I wasn't even going to say anything, but I see what's happening out here, and I'm not about to let anybody make me look stupid. She took a moment, gathering her thoughts, then continued, I stood by my man through everything, and I always thought we were solid. But today, I saw some things that hurt me to my core. I won't lie to you about how painful this is, but I'm strong, and I'll get through this. Mendeecees knew he was losing control of the situation. The pressure was building, and with everything unraveling, he grabbed his phone and dialed Yandy. Her heart skipped as her screen lit up with his name. She stared at it for a moment, wondering if she was even ready to hear from him. Meanwhile, the support for Yandy continued pouring in, people flooding the chat with messages of love, telling her to walk away and stand her ground. The conversation had shifted. Now, Yandy wasn't just the woman who had been played. She was the one who was regaining her power. She hesitated, unsure of what to do, when suddenly another notification flashed across her screen. This time, it was from Jasmine. Jasmine had dropped another bombshell, and the internet was about to go crazy. The video was live, and the world was watching. The moment she clicked play, Jasmine appeared on the screen, her face serious. "I wasn't going to say this," she began, "but since everyone is talking, let me tell you the whole truth." The anticipation was electric. Jasmine took a deep breath and dropped the shocking revelation. "He didn't just tell me he wanted to leave Yandy. He was planning it. He's already begun moving his money, preparing for a fresh start. And he told me Yandy doesn't even know what's coming." The world stopped. Fans were left in utter disbelief. Was Mendeecees really planning to leave Yandy, and she had no idea? Had he been orchestrating this entire situation behind her back? The comments flooded in, each one more incredulous than the last. Then, Jasmine dropped even more receipts, further exposing the lies and deception. It was clear to Yandy now that this wasn't just about cheating, this was betrayal on a whole new level. The realization hit her hard. She had to decide, fight for the relationship or walk away for good. She took one last look at her phone, trying to process everything. With a trembling hand, she powered it off. The room was heavy with tension, everyone waiting to see what Yandy would do next. Yandy sat there, the weight of the truth pressing down on her heart as she read through the notes, each one confirming her darkest fears. This wasn't just a fleeting affair, it was a committed relationship, a betrayal she hadn't seen coming. All the while, Mendeecees and Jasmine Bleu had been lying to her face. Social media exploded with support for Yandy, with some fans labeling Mendeecees a chronic liar who had never truly changed. But others speculated that there was more to the story than what was being shared. Every new revelation was devoured by the internet, with hashtags like #JusticeForYandy and #MissyExposed trending. Meanwhile, Jasmine Bleu enjoyed the chaos, posting cryptic Instagram stories that suggested it was Mendeecees who had been pursuing her rather than the other way around. One of her posts went viral. "When a man shows you who he is, believe him the first time." It was a message that struck a chord, and fans began piecing together every part of the timeline. At this point, Yandy had stopped crying. The pain had turned into something fiercer, rage. This wasn't just about another woman. It was about the years of loyalty, trust, and the sacrifices she had made. She had held him down when he was in prison, claiming that his relationship with Yandy had been falling apart for months. He implied that Yandy was only going public to gain sympathy, which was the final straw for Yandy. In retaliation, she went live on her own platform. "I don't need sympathy, I need honesty," she declared, her voice steady. "If you can't give me that, then we have nothing left to talk about." And, to top it off, Yandy posted what she claimed were screenshots of Mendeecees' final receipts. The situation was now a full-blown firestorm with no turning back. As Mendeecees declared that he was finished with Yandy and ready to move on, the public outrage reached new heights. Supporters rallied behind Yandy, demanding that she formally step away, while many began to believe that her marriage was officially over. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was rapidly losing support. Even those who had once defended him were now criticizing his behavior. The comments beneath his post became brutal. "You seem foolish now for fumbling Yandy for this," and "Jasmine played you." The situation was spiraling out of control, and the fallout was only beginning. Would Yandy finally leave for good? Would Mendeecees try to win her back? What would Jasmine Bleu do now that the whole world was watching her every move? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain: this scandal was far from over. The big question was still hanging in the air. Will Yandy leave permanently, or is this just a waiting game? Could this be another spectacular reconciliation, or was this the end of the road? But the real question remained: are Jasmine Bleu's allegations true, or is she just trying to gain influence? Fans couldn't stop talking, and the drama was far from settled. Will Mendeecees ever change, or has he always been this way? If you think this is crazy, just wait. In the world of hip-hop and love, the drama never stops. So, if you want to stay on top of the latest scandals, shocking revelations, and the behind-the-scenes action, make sure to hit that subscribe button, enable notifications, and like this video. If you believe Yandy deserves to take the leap and finally make her move, and if you think this drama is far from over, stay tuned. Wait for our next video. I promise you, this tale is about to take a crazy new turn.